Hello and welcome to my world of crochet. My name is Dina and today I'm here with you for another Sort My Stash 2024 video, and this is going to be part 6. So the sixth video in my series of sorting my huge yarn stash 2024. And as always, you know, we cannot talk yarn without me having my faithful mug of tea. And today I think the tea is sort of fitting. I picked a tea that is a Chinese Earl Grey. So it is basically, it's an Earl Grey based on a Chinese black tea and green tea. And then there is added a hint of a citrus. So it's quite nice. And I would barely know that there is green tea in this tea, yet it's there. So I absolutely trust the label. It is a loose tea that I got quite some years ago, and it was actually in this Danish gift bag. And since Linde Hobby is a company in Denmark, it sort of felt fitting paying this tea for this video. So the Linde Hobby has a nice brand of cakes, which is basically what this part 6 is going to be about. It's going to be about all my Linde Hobby cakes. I have some Linde Hobby woolly cakes and I have some Linde Hobby soft cakes. And to make it even worse, they just launched 2 branch of cakes and I really want to get them, but I've been a good girl. I did not buy anything yet. But I am tempted, but I'm really restraining. And to be honest, it's been really good to sort my stash because it's almost like an unboxing, because I keep a lot of my yarn in boxes, and it makes me realize how much I have and that I probably don't need it just yet. Yeah, I'm trying to limit myself in buying yarns, and fundamentally, I'm only allowed to buy yarn if it's something I really need for a project, or if I'm run out for a project that I'm working on, or if there is a really good deal. Except for that, I'm trying to decrease my yarn purchasing for this year. But the Linde Hobby woolly cakes is the first that we are going to discuss. Linde Hobby woolly cakes, they have 3 different colors of cakes, and I have 2 of them. I used to have 3, but the third I actually ended up giving away, not last year, but maybe the year before last year. I gave it away once in a giveaway, and I do believe it ended up going to Finland. But yeah, so the Linde Hobby woolly cake, and as you can hear in the name here, it indicates already there is a wool in this cake. It is gorgeous though. Black Crystal is the name of this cake. And for something made of wool, it's reasonably scarfable. But this is not as soft as, for example, something with alpaca or something like that. But it's not super itchy. Let's talk about the yarn contents of this absolutely gorgeous cake. And I'm going to hold it a little bit like this so you can easier see it. And because I have an extra, because I actually have 2 of them, I can use this. So they do also have center pull tabs for those wanting to work with the center pull. But this lovely woolly cake is as a following. The composition is 50% wool and 50% acrylic. They recommend 3.5 to 4.5 millimeter knitting needles or 3.5 to 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. This yarn is a stranded yarn, which basically means you get 4 strands to work with, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 4 strands, which you hold together to create your yarn. It's not so easy to see, but you can see it. So it's a stranded yarn. I'm trying not to pull too much in it because obviously it's gonna make it all a bit messy, but that is the thickness. So it's not the thinnest of yarns, but it's not the thickest either. They recommend, well, we just talked about the recommendations. It's a 200-gram cake. So 200 grams is like a little bit more than 7 ounces. It's 700 meters for a cake like this, and 700 meters is 765 yards. So, you know, I think in the beginning I just got one of each, and I ended up getting two of them because I thought, oh, it could be gorgeous maybe for a poncho or something like that. And then you really need two because 700 meters of cake is just not really enough for much more than a scarf or a shawl. And a poncho just needs that much more. But yeah, I haven't really decided exactly what's going to happen. Poncho, scarf, whatever. I think that it's just, so far it's just nice, and I have two of them because I can make a bit bigger project, and that's kind of why I got two of them. And the same counts for the other yarn I have. So the yarn I don't have, the only color I don't have of this line is the colorway 2, which is a taupe. So colorway 1 here is black crystal, as mentioned, and it's black to darker gray to lighter gray to whites. I think it's quite nice. And then the taupe is more like, well, apparently it should be taupe colors, I guess, but it's more like dark navy, army green, forest green ish colors. But as I said, I ended up giving it away. The last one I have of the woolly ones is this gorgeous fella, and I do believe it's just named beige. I'm just going to find it to make sure that I'm not saying the wrong thing. Yeah, beige. So it's a colorway 3, beige. And yarn specs obviously are the exact same as the black crystal. And I also have two of these, and that was definitely because I had the idea of making a poncho with these guys. I was thinking of making one of those ponchos where you make two identical pieces that sort of crisscross, but I'm not really sure if it's possible. And you know, it's in the thinking, it's in the thinking line, it's in the thinking pipeline. It's not something I've decided on at all, but I really kind of like these colors because they're neutrals. They're this sandy beige to white colors, and somehow that does go okay with my complexion, doesn't it? But yeah, that's pretty much all the woolly cakes I have. So as I said, yarn specs are the same. That is my woolly cakes. I don't have a lot of them, but they also don't have like a huge colorway of woolly cakes. They just don't. Then we have the Linde hobby soft cakes, and I do believe I have one of each color of these. And yeah, the question is basically where to start. I don't know if I should have numbers on them somewhere. I'm just gonna get them all out so I easier can keep track of them. I think that's fundamentally what it is right now. I have one of each. I don't have multiples anymore. Oh, well, it's not completely true. I do have one because it's sitting in a giveaway box right now, that's where I'm still waiting to hear from the winner. But I have 9 Linde Hobby Soft Cakes. 2, 4, 6, 8. And there is exactly 9. So I do have one of each. Hallelujah for me. Now, I kind of wanted to see if I could mention them in the color number order, because that would be kind of nice if I could manage to do that. So that's what I'm just trying to do right now. I'm just trying to sort of line them up. We can take and talk about them one for each. But the thing is, with these Linde Hobby Soft Cakes, their names does not 100% match the color. At least that's my point of perception here. Because some of them where I'm like, the color doesn't even add up. And I'm wondering partially if something just been wrong when they were naming them. I think that's the case. I think that's generally the case, that somebody made a mistake. There should be more looking at the amount of colorways. But yeah, let's see. We're just gonna take them one by one. So as I said, I have 9, so we're going to discuss 9 colors, but at the same time, they're all the same yarn specs. And we can laugh a bit about their names. And the Linde Hobby soft cakes, they are really, really soft. Like, they are so squishy soft that, you know, it's unprecedented. Like, it's amazing. The Linde Hobby soft cakes is also 4 strands of yarn that you're working with, like this, that you hold together to create your yarn. Linde Hobby soft cake. Quite soft, definitely quite soft. And I'm just trying to see if I can get the yarn specs listed nicely while I hold this guy for you. So if you want to compare it to the woolly cake, we can do that. This is a woolly cake. Woolly cake, soft cake. They're almost identical, yet you can see there are slight differences. This is more fine than this one. And the gradient is also slight more fine, refined. But of course it's thinner thread, so it's also then easier to obtain a more refined look. The composition of this yarn is 50% cotton and 50% acrylic. They recommend knitting needles 2 to 3 millimeter or crochet hooks 2 to 3 millimeters. In the end, I just generally recommend you to try out your own crochet hooks. And the larger hook you choose, the more drapey the project you will get. So of course it also depends a little bit about on the project that you want to make from these. Right now, most of my plans with these Linde Hobby cakes, they're basically shawls. The only thing is shawls or scarves. I haven't decided on specific patterns related to these yet. If you have pattern suggestions, you're more than welcome to add these pattern suggestions here down below in the description box, because I would absolutely love to hear any description suggestions you may have. But yeah, let's continue. So these cakes are 250 grams, so they're also 1.7 ounces heavier than the woolly cakes. So that gives you about 8.8 ounces of yarn here. It's 1,000 meters long also, so they're also longer, which is about 1,093 yards. So you're definitely having a nice, good cake here. Iron at low, lay flat to dry, wash at 30 degrees Celsius, so that's 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Do not tumble dry, do not bleach, do not dry clean, basically. Be gentle to this one. And this is also named Black Crystal, so that kind of fits how it goes. So I realized we did not discuss washing instructions for the woolly cakes, but I can tell you the washing instructions are basically the same. So they are wash at 85 degrees Fahrenheit, so 30 degrees Celsius. Lay flat to dry, iron at low, do not tumble dry, do not bleach, do not dry clean, basically. So they have the same washing instructions, just a quick note. The next yarn I have from the Linde Hobby Cakes colorway is the colorway 2, which is a colorway named Soil. And that's quite suitable. And they also have, of course, they also have center pull. You can see it's hidden there. But the colorway Soil, I think it's very fitting because this is definitely soiled colors. So, you know, these lovely browns, chocolate browns to these lighter beige colors. And it's not white, it is just like this skin tone color all the way in the center. I think Soil is a good name for this. It could also be named Chocolate in my world. But it's a lovely color. It's a colorway 2. So colorway 2 is the one they named Soil. Colorway 3 is the one which kind of kicks off the oddball show, so to say, because it's named Green Garden, but it's not green. It's blue. Like, what? It's blue. It's navy blue to brighter blue to some brighter blues to some whites. Like, how can this be named Green Garden? I'm totally lost for words. Like, it's not a green garden. What it is that if you take their Flora soft cakes, which is a new brand they have, then this one is named Ocean. And that I would much rather buy. I could definitely imagine this one being named Ocean. Like, you have the deeper ocean here. And here you have the foamy ocean when it's windy on tops on the waves. So yes, I can definitely see this one being ocean. So I think we have a branding issue here. But that does not change that the yarn is gorgeous and it feels gorgeous, and I'm sure it's wonderful to work with. It's just named wrong, plainly said. The next color I also feel is kinda off name-wise, because again, it's named, the colorway 4 here is named Crocodile, but I would definitely not classify it as a crocodile, because a crocodile, I think, is more dark green to army greenish color, not red. No, this is not a crocodile color at all. When you then look and take this and take it over and compare it to the Florisoft cakes, which is a slight different markup yarn spec wise, but the color seems much more correct, then this is named Pomegranate. That I can also see because pomegranate seeds do have these red colors. Amethyst would probably also have worked for me. I think not amethyst. There's another red gem that would work for this. Ruby, kinda. Ruby color. Yes, ruby, that's the name. But it's called Pomegranate for the other colorway, which I think is much more suitable than the crocodile. So again, I think this is just wrongly labeled. I don't know if it's intentional. Maybe I should actually write them and ask if that's the case. But again, here we have the one they named Crocodile officially, because like, I'm not kidding. It says crocodile there. I'm not sure if it actually zooms well enough for you to read. But I think it's just named wrong. That doesn't change the fact that it's still absolutely gorgeous. Then we have colorway 5, which is the one named a Lotus, a flower. I think this is gorgeous, honestly. I really do. This could be a lotus flower, I guess. The other line brand of cakes that just released don't have this colorway. So I'm open for the thought of this being a lotus flower. It is this like brown orange shade, burnt orange to more orange to more brighter orange. We go into yellows and creams. I still think this is quite nice yarn, colorways wise. It could be like a sunset, maybe, or a sundawn, somehow. We have then the one which is named Amethyst. Amethyst is this gorgeous fella. And that's, I'm not sure, nope, we don't have similar colors on the other either, but that's okay. I still think this is a quite nice one. We have these blues to, I can't really find out if it's a purple or gray, before it goes pink and then goes into the sandy color, before it then goes white. It's more like a cream white. It's not a white if I compare it to, for example, this one is real white, where this one is a bit more beige color. But when I'm looking at them here in the light, it might actually be white. Still, I think it's a nice color. I do really think this is gorgeous. Amethyst, and that name is probably okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. Then we have a lavender, and I think lavender is definitely true fitting to its name. It's this gorgeous purple cake to pinks. So it goes from purple to lighter purple to pinks to whites. I think it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Can't wait to make a shawl of this. And then we have Umbra, and that's a colorway 8. Umbra is gray, yellow, and white, or gray, yellow, and cream white. So we start at gray, lighter grays to yellows, to this sort of cream for the Linde Hobby Soft Cake colorway 8. It is a little bit not so nicely caked up here in the center. So I do have a little bit worry for this single cake that when I start working on it, that I might be challenged. I might work better on this one from a center pull. Not so far that we've gotten there yet to start working on them. And then the last cake I have is, it says to be the colorway 16. And it's named Caribbean Sea. And a Caribbean Sea, I think, is a fitting name. This gorgeous sapphire blue-ish sea. 2 more sandy colors. Caribbean Sea, yeah. Definitely Caribbean Sea. I can see that. I can see that. I said center pulls, and this one says I love knitting. I would rather have it said I love crocheting, but that's because I prefer crochet above knitting. I can knit, for those that's curious, but I haven't done a lot of it lately. But yeah, here we have it. It's the Caribbean Sea. Gorgeous, isn't it? One of each I have. So technically there are 9 shawls. I just need to find some patterns for them. If you have any suggestions for patterns, as I mentioned earlier, feel free to comment them here down below. Also, if you do have pattern suggestions that would encourage me to make with these Linde hobby cakes, make sure it is patterns that works with 2-weight yarn, and that I need about 1,000 meters, preferably not too much more, because then I have an issue because I only have one of each. Also, if you have a specific pattern you think would work really well with a specific cake color, mention that also in the description box down below, because who knows, I might actually take up on your suggestion and crochet that shawl based on your suggestions. So feel free to pop in those suggestions. If you don't know what to make of it, or if you don't have specific pattern suggestions, I am also more than happy to hear which is your favorite cake. Would you rather want a woolly cake, or would you rather want a soft cake? And also, what color were your favorite? So that's pretty much it for this one of my Sort My Stash part 6. And I will be back next week, Monday, with a new Sort My Stash series. Until I see you again, take care and happy crafting. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Bye.